When we talk about youth and media, the first thing that comes to people's mind is that youth are only users of social media outlets such as Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But what if we look at youth as essential partners in disseminating information that help people in changing the narrative? Young people have the capacity to shape philosophies, to shape public opinion. To elaborate more on this topic on youth and media, the SSBC is bringing to you the Youthful Youth, coming to you live in its second season, themed I Choose to Develop South Sudan. And in this season, we host young people who are contributing to development through different programs, whether in the media sector, in the health sector, in entrepreneurship, in business, in education. There is a role that young people always play to foster development at all sectors. As I was coming to the studio, an idea came to my mind, and I was doing a self-inventory to look at how I have achieved some of the goals that I've decided to do in 2025. So the first thing that came to my mind was the word management, and I want to give you an assignment as we commence this episode of today. So when it comes to management, how do you manage your time? How do you manage even the thoughts of your mind? How do you manage the resources that are entrusted with your hand? We are in the second month of the year 2025. How far are you with managing the goals that you have decided to do? And we welcome all the viewers of SSBC, and we would love to tell you that this is the Youthful Youth coming to you live. And if you are following us, we are available on social media outlets. On Facebook, we are SSBC TV, and also in YouTube, SSBC Official. Share with us your opinion and ideas that help us to navigate our ways and also help this program more beneficial to young people. We are delighted, and we have a brilliant young mind with us in the studio today. Before we introduce our guest, I want us to go for a short break. And before we go to that short break, I want you to think about the word management. Think about how are you managing your time. Think about how are you managing the resources that are placed in your hand. Let's go for a short break as we continue our program. A very good morning to all viewers of SSBC. Thank you for choosing the SSBC to be your channel in this wonderful morning. This is the Youthful Youth program coming to you live from the SSBC headquarters in Yakureng. We are in the second season of the program, and we are focusing totally on young people, looking at their role in development. And in today's episode, we are focusing on the role of young media professional in fostering development in South Sudan. And with us in the studio, a brilliant young mind, a journalist, and also an environmental activist. She's with us in the studio today to elaborate more on the challenges that young people face in the media industry, and also to elaborate on the opportunities that are available for young people in the media industry, and also to look at media as a developer to the nation of South Sudan. Maura Ajak, welcome to SSBC, and a very good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning also to the viewers of SSBC.
So in our introduction, I talked about management. Actually, it's an idea came to my mind, and I was doing an inventory around my life as far as I have developed the goals for my life. So I was asking myself, what have you achieved so far in these 2 months? Are you managing this properly or not? How far are you with your goals?
So far I'm on break, from last year. I'm trying to do evaluation, how far I've gone and how far remain to be done. And also the strength and weakness, also it's a must to be evaluated.
Exactly.
For now, yeah.
That is very interesting. So now in the media industry, it's a very huge industry. We cannot actually document it in only one episode. So to commence our conversation, actually it's not going to be an interview, it's a conversation,
Yeah.
tapping into some of the ideas that you will share with the viewers of SSBC. When we talk about the challenges of young media professional, the first thing that comes to people's mind is capacity. Another challenge is how young people view themselves with the capacity that they get in the media industry. At individual level, I look at some of the challenges that young people face in the media is the issue of capacity. They will tell you that we don't tap into the knowledge that makes us young media professional. Another challenge is specialization. You will see a young person today in broadcasting, and then tomorrow he is in reporting industry. The other day he is a moderator or an MC of something. So they always like to jump from one sector to one sector. And it also become one of the challenges that young media professionals face. What could you say on the challenges of young people in media?
Honestly, once a person decides to join the media industry, there must be a passion.
Exactly.
Why I want to join media industry, for instance. What for? How far can I impact the society? And also talking about the goals and objectives for yourself and also for the people. Because once you want to be part of the industry, meaning that you're going to serve people and you serve the nation itself, it's not only for yourself, but it's a record, you know, shaping the history of the country. The other thing, others, they ignore to go through themselves and reflect. What do I really want? Is it really meant for me or not? Should I go for a training or not? Should I ask or consult or not? What I've learned from past years and interacting with some of the colleagues, some individuals, they don't share their passion. Like, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4 in this industry.
Yes.
Others, they're just having you know, excitement. They want to be part of the industry, but they need guidance or mentorship.
Exactly.
But there is this fear whereby they can't approach, or they're shying away to approach, or they feel like if I will approach person A or B, might tell other people that I have weakness, for instance. It doesn't mean like that. So the more you ask, the more you get answers. And the other thing also, exploring. You know, even if jumping from one department to another, it means exploring.
Yes.
For me, I've started like as a radio journalist, and then I've started exploring, becoming a freelancer for online print. Afterwards, exploring also in photography, videography, and so on. So it's fun, honestly. At the same time, if you have determination for it. The other thing also, you need to list down. You need to have a notebook. If you don't have a notebook, why do you want to be part of the industry? Scatter your notebooks. Later on, come and collect it by the time you want to do evaluation for yourself. And you need to consult. You need a second person or a second eye, whereby to tell you this is right and this is wrong. And in media, you have to be flexible.
Exactly.
You shouldn't get offended if you are corrected. And discipline, it's a priority. And patience as well, you know, tolerance. Because within the challenges scope, you'll find harassment, intimidation, and so on. Those part comes in once you didn't build up your capacity, once you didn't network with other colleagues, once you didn't have enough network with different people, not necessarily from media department itself, but sometimes you can have someone who's good at mentorship.
Yes.
But specialize in different sector. For instance, you can have a friend from humanitarian sector, and you can learn also how they usually used to go to the field, how they prepare, and so on. Because there is no any difference from a journalist preparing towards comparing it with a humanitarian worker, and also comparing with a security personnel. So all of us, we have like kind of a guideline, so we can be prepared to go to the field. This is really important before exposing ourselves to people outside. You have to learn how to prepare yourself.
Yes.
By the time you learn how to prepare yourself, you will make life easier for yourself and for the people also. Because outside you will find frustrated people, you will find other people who are willing to talk, and you will find someone who doesn't like media or who doesn't like camera, for instance. You will find people who intimidate you or harassing you, for instance. All those kind of elements, you need to learn how to deal with it in a flexible way, but not to be harsh. So the more you learn, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more also you motivate others to join the industry. This is how it works. So challenges also varies. Talking about technology, sometimes you can have the equipment, but you don't know how to use the equipment. And you're shying away from other elements that I've mentioned, like approaching people. You need to find a mentor, or you need also to learn how to upgrade your skills, because the more you upgrade, the more you have, for instance, clients who wants you to do media consultancy, who wants you to do a certain assignment in different areas. So basically, you need to be an open book, open-minded person. Accept whatever it is there, unless if it will insult or will be against your humanity, then you have a right to stand against that.
Yeah. So you mentioned two things as far as the challenges are concerned. Number one is that you need to have passion for something, because if you are not passionate for something, a time will come that you will get bored, because it is not within your heart. And you mentioned the element is that young media professionals sometimes tend to shy away when they lack a capacity in a particular area. They shy away to ask or to reach out, because they don't want this perception of people saying you don't know enough in this. So this word mentorship is very crucial in different aspects of life. For example, as a term, I have a mentor. We were doing a session with my mentor to identify exactly the areas of my strength. And he gave me one thing to put in my mind, and that is continue to do what you are doing. Along the way, we will know exactly what you are passionate about or what you do better than the rest of the things. So I was doing a lot of things to do with media, things to do with advocacy and youth activism. So along the way, he kept correcting and telling me, you have strengths in this area. And now I have a clear picture of what I want to do in life as an individual. But outside, there are some people who will just see Maura Ajak doing a documentary, and then they will immediately decide that I want to be a media personnel, rushing to Juba University School of Journalism. By the time they graduate, the passion is no more. Simply because they have seen a picture in a social media outlet, and then they admire that person. So now, for people to direct their passion, what will you tell them?
I want to advise you need to have a long-term developing vision. You know, it shouldn't be short-term vision. Like for instance, even me myself, sometimes I have like several plans, and I make sure like, okay, I have resources for this and that. And sometimes I run out of resources. So afterwards, I try again to swap, to mix up the whole schedule again from scratch.
Yes.
And see how it will be possible to do A or B or C. And even if you want to join the industry, you want to do a documentary, it's not bad. It's a good idea, but you need to put the do's and the don'ts and the consequences. Because at the end of the day, you need someone to come for your rescue. And as you've mentioned, you had a mentor. Even me, myself, I have a mentor, not only one mentor.
Exactly.
And I've learned from my recent documentary that you really need a powerhouse, like a strong squad, you know, whereby person A will tell you, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? And it depends on the outlet or the editors or the people that you deal with, whether they are nationals, South Sudanese, or foreign nationals. Also, you need to have this kind of flexibility and understanding.
Yes.
You know, because each person coming from a different background. But still, media, it's a one table. You can't differentiate anything apart from verification of the information, and also you need to have a quality work. If you can't produce a quality work, then you need to cross-check again. Why are you there?
Exactly.
And producing quality work, you need to have really good team. even sometimes they can tell you this is wrong, and others can just shout at you, but at the end of the day they want you to perform your best in that industry.
Yes.
For instance, like applying, for instance, for a certain pitch. Usually you have a story proposal. You don't have to rely on one media outlet, because I'm seeing, like, from COVID outbreak past years, opportunities started exploring. I mean, like, flowing on different platforms. So
Yes.
you have to apply left and right, and wait. While you're waiting, do other thing. Go and collect contents, go and do any other thing. Keep yourself busy. You can read even books to upgrade your language, for instance, because day by day there are a lot of versions coming in media. Name it, whether it's academic or usually in videography or photography. There are new applications coming in, and then you need also to explore. You need just to give your mind to it and just learn. Learning in media, it's something that's really sweet, and it goes just day by day. You won't feel it if you have that passion. You will not
Exactly.
feel it. Yeah.
Very excellent.
Yeah.
Now, talking about also the challenges, I want us to shift into social media outlets. In my introduction, I've mentioned that youth are always attached as users of social media outlets. You will see majority of young people are in TikTok. They are on Facebook, but very few of them on LinkedIn and Twitter. Why? Because youth always tend to entertainment programs or activities that show their energy and their capacity. But now the public has shaped a perspective is that youth are only users of these social media outlets, even though we can use social media positively or negatively. So what are the negative side that you are seeing young South Sudanese are using these social media outlets, especially young people who are in the media industry?
So let me say there are some contents that we shouldn't use on social media. As a journalist, yes, you have fun time and you have work time.
Yes.
But you shouldn't prioritize fun time most of the time, because, as I've mentioned, you're going to serve the public. You can have a page, yes, and you can keep it strictly only for your official contents or articles, for instance.
Yes.
If you don't write or you take photos, keep it for photos. If you do videos, keep it for videos. It depends on the platform that you are specialized in. And the other thing also, you have mentioned about the LinkedIn and Twitter. It's more professional than TikTok. It has a lot of, it's not about high profile people, but this is where you meet the world, and you meet different people, and then they can even hire you for consultancy. That's why you see the percentage of youth in those two platforms, it's really few than the other platforms.
Exactly.
Entertainment, yes, it's part of life, but if you have noticed, South Sudan, it's not monetized. You can't get paid on TikTok. And why should you waste time doing that? Why don't you put other contents from your articles? And the good thing, we have beautiful view around Juba or around South Sudan.
Yes.
Whether you are in the state or you are in one of the administrative areas, take a photo of a nice scene and then talk about that area. Historical background of it, how far we have come up to now, and so on. So those are things that you can reflect, you can open minds, you can give a free awareness contents, and from there you can be picked or selected. We have seen your content, share with us your email. We want to give you opportunity to go and attend a global conference. This is how opportunities flows on your table.
Exactly.
But if you're sharing contents that will not serve anyone globally, so then you're wasting your time, wasting resources. Why don't you give that opportunity to another person? If you have the resources, push it on ahead, but don't waste resources. That's what I can say. And even if you have a new equipment, share. I have a new equipment, how can I use it? Like for me, I never had a camera. So I asked my mentor, can I use your camera? So every time we go with him to the field, he gives me the camera and he tells me do the setting 1, 2, 3, 4. And working for international outlets, they want raw photo. They don't want it edited. You don't have to use flash. And it depends on the guidelines that they give you. And if you don't follow, you are not going to get any, payment.
Exactly.
So you need to earn also. You need to hustle. So from that point of technical way to learn, it helps a lot also to ask for more cameras. Now we have, advanced Sony, like Alpha and so on. And then Canon also, it has other versions, and then Nikon and so on. So you will learn a lot, and then you can be also ustaz somewhere. You can go to the schools, you can go to the universities, you can give mentorship in a confident way, and then you can even give advanced content to the students.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of benefits will fall there, but if you don't have that passion and you don't really reflect, how am I going to use those things, then you will be lost in the middle. Yeah.
Perfect. You already started to talk about some of the opportunities that are available for young media professionals. I want us to go for a short break, and then after we come from the break, we elaborate more on these opportunities available for young media professionals. Viewers of SSBC, we will go for a short break as we continue our conversation titled Young Media Professional. Let's go for a short break and we will come back. Welcome once again, viewers of SSBC. This is the Youthful Youth coming to you live from Nyakuren, the studio of SSBC. We are in the Youthful Youth, and in particular, we are in the second season of the program themed I Choose to Develop South Sudan. We are delighted to have with us in this second season a young media mind, young media professional mind, and we are talking about young media professional. And before we went to the break, we talked about the opportunities that are available for young media professional. Maura Ajak, welcome on board once again. We want to elaborate more on the opportunities that are available for young people in the media industry, especially opportunities that comes with reward, comes with financial benefit, because when you are doing something, at the end of the day, you have to benefit from it. So could you share with our viewers some of the opportunities and link it to your personal opportunities that you have acquired?
Usually, by then when I was in my primary level and then going to the secondary, my parents usually used to tell me, read out loud the book that you have or the newspaper. Especially my mom, she used to tell me, let me hear you out loud and clearly pronouncing the words while I'm cooking in the kitchen. So I used to shy away to read loud. And because my brothers are there, and siblings, sometimes they tease each other.
Yeah,
so
they bully sometimes.
Yes. So I used to practice that until I've learned. And I've realized reading will help you also to get opportunities. Not only emceeing, but recording for documentaries, for instance. Writing will help you also. I remember I didn't know my official name. I have, a nickname. So I've known myself only with the nickname.
Yes.
And every time I miss getting my exercise book. I was in class 0. So my dad was shocked by that time, and he was like, why you're not coming home with the exercise books? By the time he asked the class miss, and then she told him that I used to call her name, but I've never seen her around. So from that moment, my dad gave me 60 pages exercise book. I have to write my name, the school name, and then the class, and his name, and my mom's name. So I had to keep it all. I have to write it all the way to the last page, the exercise book.
As an assignment.
Yes. And he told me this is how you can improve your handwriting at the same time. So I found myself like I know how to write in a fast way. Especially once you are in a press conference, you need also to write. you
Yeah.
know, take your notes in a fast way. And also typing during the desktop when it was new by then. So he came and just he dropped it at home, and he was like, you figure out with your brother how you can learn how to use the computer. So we learn also how to type and doing the other things. Those is it's only in one gadget. So the gadget that you can use, for instance, if you have a laptop, you can use that laptop for editing photos, typing, and also you know, producing contents. Like say audio, it's only audio. You can record with the recorder, and then you have photos. You can take photos with the phone, and you can take videos. If you have an application, mix all that in the form of video, and then you record your voice. You know, record your voice in that recorder, and then produce a content, but educational content.
Exactly.
Whereby someone can just take you as a reference. For instance, talking about planting trees campaign, and you're talking, for instance, in Juba, people planted 500 trees, in Wow, and then and so on in other states. Then people will take you as a reference because you have accurate figures.
Yes.
You have also to avoid misinformation. You know, the moment that you are accurate in your content, the more you get clients, the more you get a brand for yourself. By the time you get a brand, it's not the end of the journey. It's still, you have to generate more ideas. You have to be creative, not to do the routine, but explore, move here and there.
Yes.
For instance, the cartoon that we have on the newspapers. Why don't you collect those cartoons and ask even the cartoonist, how did you manage to do that? How do you develop the idea? Do you sit and reflect on your own? Do you sit with other people, friends, and so on? So this is how also you learn. You learn with yourself. You learn the process of developing the cartoon or the sketch. Also painting and other activities around Juba. I used to see a lot of nice social programs around Juba, but it's not really reflected or documented. But you find most of the newspapers having the same headline, most of the radio stations having the same news. Why not each radio station to be specialized or, you know, unique in different things? Like, oh, iRadio, yes, it's good for breaking news. Oh, SSBC, they really have a lot of contents, and it's diverse contents. You know, this is how you sell your brand. You'll be really unique, and then you can have a space globally whereby they will say South Sudan map, yes, there is this media outlet good for this, you know, there is this media landscape. So it can identify you, you're good at what. But I don't know, I've noticed like issue of application online. There are a lot of applications online, fellowships for media. It's good to apply. It's not necessarily always you get the green light. Like for me, I've tried to apply and apply. Sometimes I forget I've applied for what. Sometimes I get short notification. The course will resume on 1, 2, 3, 4 date. So you have just to be prepared.
Yes.
Whether it's positive or negative response, but you have just to be active and there and to be creative. And you know, we have to adapt applying for those courses because it helps. Most of the courses online, it's for free. But if you want to study it now, you have to pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
so you
that's
shouldn't
true.
miss such opportunities. I believe you also being part of different fellowships. It's good also for other colleagues and individuals to approach. How can I apply and so on? This way you mentor them, and then others also will go and preach about it.
On it, I will not only make it as a documentary, but I will also make it as a stream of income. We want to tap into some of the opportunities that generated finances to you. Maybe watching us is a student at the University of Juba who would love also to use media as a stream of income. We have existing challenges. You've talked about that. When you go on TikTok, they don't pay you when you are in the context of South Sudan, but when you go abroad, you are paid. So amidst this challenge, how can young people who are in the media industry navigate their way and use media as a platform to finance themselves?
A simple way, you have the River Nile.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the River Nile.
Mm-hmm.
You have issue of recycling.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of plastic bottles around.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you pick up from there?
Mm-hmm.
Post on your Twitter, LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You can start from something like you can see it's
Mm-hmm.
it's something useless, but no, it will
Mm-hmm.
generate for you, you know, a wealthy journey,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to focus on the materials, that it's a long-term material,
Yes.
whereby it will remain as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone will try to bring inaccurate information from any other country, still it will remain the original source, verified and trusted also. Talking about drought, for instance, this morning we were talking about drought in iRadio. Like Capoeira, why there is drought? What are the causes of drought? Talking about the floods, what are the causes of floods? Not only that, we can talk about historical places in South Sudan. We don't have museum, yes,
Yes.
but let's profile some things. You know, let's visit some of the families of former liberators. You know, talking to the families, interacting with them. You know, if you're doing a documentary, you will feel the human in you.
Exactly.
You know, and you have to be bonded with the person also you are doing the interview with. It's not about I'm just doing this content, I'm going to sell it and khalas. No, tomorrow still you're going to talk to that person. You have also to bond, because that person will go somewhere and tell you, hey, I have an idea, or there is 1, 2, 3, 4 happening. Why don't you come and have a look at this story? So from there you can have a credible network. In case of, it's not necessarily chaos, but if there are some good things happening, name it, a good festivals and so on, you can be invited in a regular basis, like you will be part of them. I've been mentioning to a friend that most of the places that I've visited, I make sure that I connect with those people.
Yes.
Everywhere you go should be home. Others, they usually used to say, I can't go to that remote site. They don't have water, you know. They don't have a good place to sleep. They don't have, no, it's home. How are they surviving? The more you have ego, the less you will learn, the less you will generate income for yourself, the less even you will have respect for yourself. Because if you are you look down at other people, lifestyle, then why are you here in this industry? Because this industry, it's about being humble and learning. So the more you're humble and you learn, the more you explore, the more you generate the wealth that you are trying to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I've noted down some of the areas that young people who are following us can start doing documentary. And if they are keen enough, I am sure that they have noted down some of these topics that they can develop some documentaries with. So Maura Ajak talked about recycling. You can do a documentary about it. The River Nile, you can develop a story about it. And also the drought that the world is currently experiencing. Go to historical places, go to children and families of veterans who fought to liberate this country. Profile this. It's an opportunity for you. So we would want to tell you that these are some of the opportunities that you can tap to them if you have intended to contribute to development through media. Let's go for a short break and we will continue to elaborate more on using media as a tool for national development. very good morning to all viewers of SSBC. Welcome from the short break. This is the Youthful Youth coming to you from the SSBC. If you are on Facebook, we are available at SSBC TV, and also on YouTube, SSBC Official. Follow us, and if you have any comment as far as this topic is concerned, you can share your ideas with us. We are delighted to have with us Ms. Maura Ajak with us in the studio, elaborating topic title Young Media Professional, looking at the role of young people who are in the media and linking their contribution into developing South Sudan. Maura, we are delighted, and the conversation is getting very interesting.
Yeah.
So now we want to shift into media as a tool for national development. Let's talk about the opportunities that you have just mentioned, that if you begin to utilize the existing fellowship, you will build your capacity, and once you build your capacity, you will come and deliver a content that will not only be consumed by the society, but also it gives you recognition, plus it gives you finances. Now, if we are to use media industry as a tool for developing South Sudan, what would you say?
Let me say first, communication is a crucial ground, and using media for communication, and then to bridge between people also, and then the government, you can have a lot of educational data. The other thing also, you give a platform or you give a space to people also to engage and then to talk freely in terms of social issues. You get to know about the challenges of the people also, because not all of us were sharing the same challenges.
That's
Maybe
true.
we can share the same challenges, but in a different way. For instance, here in Juba, people surviving day to day, and they have transportation and so on, border and so on. Go to a remote site, for instance, let me say the flooded area. They have canoe, some other places. So for someone like me to move from here and to go to some of those flooded areas and using a canoe, then I'm also a beginner, right? So, and then going also to another place where it's not flooded, but they're experiencing drought, but they don't have fuel to move with their machines or the cars or whatever. So from place to another, there is a different challenge cycle people are experiencing. So for us, we have to do self-initiative. You need to start up voluntarily, producing something. By the time you start generating some of the contents, educational contents, then you will understand how you are contributing to the national development.
Yes.
Earlier I've mentioned about historical places. For instance, they're left over from the civil war we have back in the days, by the riverside. Let me say, like in Rang, when they were transporting the refugees and the IDPs using the cargo boat. So there was a huge tank, and we were told not to film that tank. So why not to talk about that tank? Why is it there up to now? For how long it's been there? And why also it's spoiled? Whether it's been bombed? The reasons. So we need to cross-check who was part of that moment, who had witnessed that moment. So those are things can be told and can be archived.
Even the victims as well.
And it can be played, and at least I will know, like I call it Titanic boat, Juba Titanic boat, the one we have in the middle of the River Nile.
Yes.
So we want to know also the background of that one. I've asked one of the staff, and he told me that during the 2013 or 2013, so it was already broken, and then one of the bomb got into it, and that's how it divided into half and got sink. So I've just learned about it like that, but what's inside that cargo boat or whatever, you see? And it's an interesting story, because there was a conflict, but now it's like a signboard. Even some of the friends from different countries, they come and they say, we want to see Juba Titanic boat. You see? It's like a sign now in the middle of that water, that making the river is special that area.
Exactly.
And let's talk about Jebel Kujur, the mountain, people with the hiking and stuff. how it looked before and now. You know, people, yes, they're breaking rocks, and now we have many youth and even our elders, they do exercise on top of the mountain. How do they feel about it? Talking about irregular earthquake that we experienced, you know, past years, it was like on and off. Yes, but let's talk about it, because I've heard like a story of volcanoes, it's not active and so on. What was happening before? Those are some historical information. It is there, but we need to regenerate it again, revive it, and talk about it, and find the relevant people to give us accurate information. You might have the information from one person, but you need to move at least to 5 to 10 people. If they will give you the same information about the time and then the year and so on, then it's accurate information. So this is how you can flow, you learn, and you will be more defensive if someone will tell you from outside, like, hey, no, Jebel Kuyur happened 1, 2, 3, 4 in it, but you know how Jebel Kuyur looked like before.
Exactly.
So you can have an accurate information to talk about it. And if they will talk about, for instance, the River Nile, no, the River Nile, it's, for instance, poisonous, la la la, people spoiling it. No, you have already accurate data about it. It's only during the rain season, most of the plastic bottles are flows to the river side. So those are things that we need to talk about it, normalize talking about it, because this current generation, we're not really focusing on what is South Sudan. We're just, yes, I'm South Sudanese. Okay, how many states we have? How many administrative areas? How many times the country been through peace deal, for instance? If you remember, by then, in the old regime, we have in the schools this kind of competitions.
Yes.
What's the abbreviation for UN? What's the capital of South Sudan, for instance? How many states we have in South Sudan? Those are small things you can build up in the young generation to know about the landscape of the country.
Exactly.
So this is how media or media practitioners can use such contents to give more education and then to give more awareness, to weaponize even our young ones.
Exactly.
Because when you say, I came, for instance, you mentioned an area in one of the remote areas, let's say Lair. What do you know about Lair? Others might not know anything about Lair. For instance, someone was trying to interview me, oh, you've been to Juba. Oh, Unity is in Juba, you see? So mixing them up, and it will give you a big sign that person is not really well aware about the landscape or geographical areas. We need to talk about it. ABA, for instance, the historical background of ABA. Why people is still, you know, talking about ABA. Let's say other places, for instance, Eastern Equatoria, it's famous with what? Why people talking about logging of trees? Why Western Equatoria, it's a food basket for South Sudan.
Exactly.
And then and so on, we move on into those other things that making each state special. Because each state having a flag. Like for instance, Central Equatoria having a rhino, right? And then and so on, you go on. Why they have a rhino? Have we seen rhino in Central Equatoria? So we need to cross-check those issues, why the reason behind using those symbols.
Very interesting. As you were talking, I view things from an entrepreneurial mindset. You've talked about now in the riverside, we have that sink ship. We can use it as a tool to attract investors, tourism. And in other words, we are developing the economic sector of the country. But it will be applicable when the people who are in the media industry make it attractive to the people who are outside. And I believe those who are watching us from the media industry, they started even to note down, I may go and do a documentary about it. Thank you for the free ideas that you have shared with us. So it's getting very interesting, but we are coming to the last segment of the program. And I told you in the beginning that it's a surprise. Yeah. So it has 3 segments, this last part of the program. So the first one, I will ask you a question. And once you answer that question, you have a gift. There's a gift that I brought here. I'll put it in the table, but it is yours upon answering a question. So we have been talking about youth in the media industry, and also you touched about most of the generation only claim to be we are South Sudanese, but they don't know what is South Sudan. So now to test you, the flag of South Sudan has 4 colors. I want you to mention them systematically, sequentially, starting from the letter, from the color up until down. Alphabetical, exactly.
Okay, let me just start.
Yes.
We have the black. We have red, we have yellow, we have green, we have white.
Yes.
It's 5.
Yes.
Okay, so white is for peace, and blue is for the River Nile, and yellow for a brighter day or liberation, okay, and green for agriculture, and black is for the, okay, now I'm forgetting, black is for
Sudan, black color.
Black color?
That is my suggestion.
Sudan.
Yeah. So now the colors alphabetically.
This is now an assignment.
Give it a try.
Okay. We have red, black, blue, yellow, white. Let's start with blue. Blue and black. No. Yeah, blue and then black. I think. Black first.
And where the yellow stands?
Yellow, it's a star. Yeah, in the middle of the triangle.
Exactly.
Yeah, the blue.
You're almost there.
I'm almost there?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to start like
yes. Visualizing it and tell me this color is up, followed by this color.
Oh, okay.
And the last color.
Okay, now I'm getting you.
Yes.
So, black is up. And then there is a white line. And then we have red. We forgot red. We have red in our flag.
Yeah, we do.
It's 6 colors. Yes, so we have. Okay.
I am even seeing a flag here, but I will not tell you within the studio.
It's within the studio, yes. I don't want to cheat.
Just give it a try, and then I will tell you whether it is right or not. The last one.
The last one? How it's arranged?
The last color arranged down.
Down?
When you hold the flag of South Sudan, the last color down.
Green.
Perfect. So the gift is yours.
Thank you.
So the second segment of it is that we always tend to define ourselves with one word. For example, me, Atem, I define myself with the word abundance. And I have chosen this word because I view life from the lens of abundance. I see that life has blessed me with a lot of opportunities, and these opportunities represent abundance. Wherever I go, there is abundance ahead of me. So what is that one word represent, Maurajak?
I'm just a black South Sudanese.
And that's why you wrote your name on social media, Dark Skin Jack?
My originality.
Yes.
Yes.
So you are identifying yourself as an original person.
Yeah.
That is very perfect.
I'm saying that because in our family we have a diverse other families from different clans, different states. It's like a mixture of South Sudan itself.
In one house.
Yes. And I'm really enjoying that. Yeah.
Thank you. So now you saw a black book in front of me. We call it a commitment book. And we always ask our guests to sign this commitment book. And as you are signing, you are telling the people of South Sudan, I remain committed to be a freelancer. I remain committed to contribute to the economic development in the area of my specialization. Sign this commitment book. And all the viewers are watching, by the way.
I should write it?
Yes, write a commitment statement.
Okay.
In a page full, and it will be yours.
Okay.
You write the date of today and that commitment statement.
25.
Yeah. And we'll hold you accountable one day.
Yeah, I remain to be committed
Very interesting.
In providing accurate information
Very excellent.
About my country.
And that is how you are contributing to the development.
Yes.
Providing accurate information, whether through your documentaries or in your social media outlets.
Yes.
That is Maura Ajak.
Yep.
Very excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to the viewers of SSBC, we have come to the conclusion of the 6th episode of the 2nd season of the Youthful Youth. We have with us in the studio Maura Ajak. Thank you for being a beautiful guest today in the studio. And thank you for being committed to sharing accurate information. And this is your contributing to developing South Sudan. Yes. And your contribution also matters to South Sudan as a viewer. And if you are a young person, how are you contributing to the development of South Sudan? Until we meet in the 2nd episode, remain blessed in the Lord and see you.